So I like to start by sitting. If you want to sit on a cushion or something, more than welcome to do so to create a little bit of space in the abdomen and lower body and lengthen through the crown of the head. We'll close our eyes to start with. And just checking in with the state of the physical body. Just noticing sensations that are going on in your lower limbs. You may want to rock the hips a little from side to side. Notice sensations happening in the hips. Without judgment, just noticing current state of your spine, especially if you just woke up in the morning. Normal to feel a little stiff. Upper limbs, the neck, head, and the muscles of the face. And we'll drop the chin to the chest and start by moving the neck. So keeping the chin down towards the chest, we're just drawing a little half circle on the chest with the chin rocking from side to side. And again, noticing the sensations that are present. One side of the neck may feel different than the other. Smooth, even breaths. And not feeling yours. Dropping the right ear over the right shoulder and reaching the left fingertips out on a diagonal. Feel the length up through the shoulder all the way to underneath the ear. And then reaching the fingertips towards the floor or even the flat palm on the floor if you're able to reach. That's not me, but that might be you. And come back through the center. Left ear to left shoulder. Reaching out on that diagonal line. Lengthening all the way up across the traps to right underneath the ear. And then planting the palm or the fingertips on the floor. Noticing any changes that causes to the stretch. And coming up through the center, we're going to shift to sitting on the heels. Just a thunderbolt position here. And some side stretching today. So reaching up and over to the right, side stretch, lengthening, pressing the left hip down towards the heels. Breathing into the ribcage. And up and over to the other side. Always smooth even breath in and out through the nose. Moving on to the center. This time we're going to take the leg out. So the left leg comes out to the side, feet close, reaching up towards the ceiling with the fingertips here. And it does put quite a bit of weight on your right hand. You won't stay here super long time. And even breaths in and out through the nose. framing the ear with this arm, and then sweeping across, we come back to sit on the heels. And then we'll take it to the other side. So left hand to the floor, reaching up towards the ceiling. You can glance up at your right thumb. If you can't see your right thumb, you might want to pull the arm a little bit more forward so the shoulder either side. Arm frames the ear and sweeping around, coming back to sit on the heels. Coming into an all fours position. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We'll cat-cow through the spine. Inhaling, tailbone on top of the head up to the ceiling. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Drop the tail on the top of the head. On your own breath, moving through the spine with awareness. So if you notice that some part of your spine is crunchy or stiff, you can hang out there a little bit more in the stretch. You can move a little bit more slowly. You can shift your weight forward or back to better target those areas. Maybe 2 more breaths like this. Inhaling into a neutral spine, tucking the toes under, especially underneath the big toe, and we press through the hands to shift their hips back to stretch through the arch of the feet. And you can control the depth of this stretch by how hard you press your hips back. Smoothing breaths in and out through the nose. If you tend to rock out towards the pinky toes, see if you can press a little bit more into the big toe so that you're stretching through the arches of the feet. Three more breaths in. Lifting everything forward. Tops of the feet are on the mat. Knees together, feet apart. We walk ourselves back into hero's pose, Vajrasana. So the hips are in between the heels. If you're floating here, we're not going to stay a really long time, but you're welcome to slide a cushion or a block underneath your pelvis. Trying to stretch the tops of the feet and the fronts of the knees. A couple breaths. And this can be challenging if you're a person with flat feet. It is normal for that to feel intense. So you can back out of it as needed. Coming forward, back into the all fours position, tuck the toes under and the hips come up and back. Downward facing dog. Definitely feel free to keep your knees bent and the hands lifted and press your belly back towards the thighs, hips up nice and high. If you want to, you can tread through the feet, bending one knee and then the other, stretching through the calf muscles. Walking our feet towards our hands, coming into a bent knee, forward bend. Hands can rest on the shins. Tips of the fingers might touch the floor. Letting the knees stay bent here so that the spine can just release lower back there. Open the tail and back of the head, really rounding the back like an armadillo, and rolling up through the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Shoulders come up, back, and down. Inhaling, reach up, looking at the thumbs. Exhale, Uttasana, forward bend. Starting with the knees soft. If you're comfortable here, you might start to straighten the knees if you want a more intense hamstring stretch. And take 2 breaths here. On the next inhale, pressing into the shins, lengthening the crown of the head away from the tail, flat back. Ardha Uttasana. Exhale, plant the hands when you step to the top of the push-up. So a high plank position. If this is really intense, definitely drop the knees down. Smooth, even breathing out through the nose. And we lower ourselves down towards the floor. So we want to try to keep our whole body in one piece. Again, drop the knees as needed. Coming all the way to belly down. Hands underneath the shoulders, elbows next to the body. Lengthening the crown of the head away from the tail. Open chest. And I'm just using my back muscles to start with. Really clear. Inhale a little bit higher. Exhale, imagine you can lay each vertebra onto the floor. Drop the forehead. And then one more time. Inhale, lengthen the crown of the head away from the tail, draw the elbows back. And you can start to press into the palms, coming up into Bhujangasana Cobra, keeping the shoulders low and the neck long and free. Again, smooth, even breaths in and out through the nose. You may like to rock your hips a little from side to side to release the front body. Leaving more space for the breath to flow. And one more breath in here. Exhale, the hips come back through tabletop. Tuck the toes under, and we sail our hips up and back down or bouncing up. Adjusting the position of your feet is fine. You really want the belly and the chest to be moving back towards the thighs. Don't worry about knees to floor or bent straight knees. Instead, focus on lengthening the spine. On the next inhale, walking my feet towards the hands. Bent knee to Uttasana or forward bend. So that the spine is completely relaxed off the head. Smoothing and relaxing out through the nose. Noticing if you can feel your shoulder blades moving with the breath. Expanding the back rib cage, letting the shoulder blades move around. Many of us are really tight back there. Drop the tail and kind of head really rounded the spine like an armadillo and roll up vertebra by vertebra and bring our shoulders up, back, and down. One more time, inhale, upward salute looking at the thumbs. Exhale, Uttasana forward bend. This time you can keep the spine long and straight. If you like, you can straighten the knees, hands resting on the shin, or fingertips on the floor. Next inhale, pressing into the shin, lengthening the crown of the head away from the tail. Ardha Uttasana. Exhale, planting your hands. Definitely top the push-up once more. Again, dropping the knees whenever you need to, no problem. Keeping the body torso to tail in one piece. Inhale, and you exhale, lowering yourself slowly all the way to your belly. Release everything. Relax the hips, relax the legs. Hands are underneath the shoulders. And we start with just using the strength of our spine, lengthening the crown of the head away from the tail, drawing the shoulder blades back and down. Release. Inhale, again, exhale. One vertebra at a time comes down to the floor, drop the forehead. Inhale, lengthen the crown of the head away from the tail, drawing the shoulder blades back, open chest, and then pressing through the palms. Bhujangasana Cobra. Feeling the chest, the sternum moving forward, shoulders pressing down and back. Right. Hips long and the shoulders stay low. And over here, as we exhale, we come through the tabletop, keep the hips high, and walk the arms forward, coming into an extended puppy pose. Dropping your chest onto the mat. Chin or forehead can rest on the mat here. And walk our hands back towards the knees, coming to sit in thunderbolt once again. Knees together, big toes come together to touch, hips on the heels. Just breathing here for a moment. And be shifting our weight towards the front of the mat. Coming up, hips over the knees. The right leg is going to go first. So stepping forward, shift the pelvis forward to lengthen the hip flexor on the left side. And tuck the toes under. Press up. And then we want to step on this right leg. Little balance. Float that foot back. Tuck the toes under. Drop the knee. Shift the weight back. And the feet come together again, sitting on the heels. It can be a little balance challenge. We're trying to orient ourselves, shifting our weight, using our pelvis to balance. So hips come up over the knees. Left leg steps forward. Stretch through the hip flexor. Tuck the right toes under. Float the knee. Shift everything forward. Little balance. Nice. Step back. Find the ball of the foot on the floor. Drop the knee. Shift your weight back. Knees come together. And sit. Nice. One more time with the right side. Hips lift up. Step. Stretching through the hip flexor here. Tuck the toes. Float the knee. Boom. Little balance. And then this left foot is going to come back, slightly turned out, the whole sole of the foot on the floor. Virabhadrasana, warrior. Breathe. You can always make adjustments afterwards. The transition are training our sense of where our body is in space, but it's fine to adjust after the fact. Inhale, open the chest a little bit. Exhale into warrior two, looking out over the right fingertips. Again, smooth, even breaths in and out through the nose. Inhale here. Exhale the right elbow to the knee and reach up and over with the left arm. Side stretch. We're going to rotate towards the knee. Frame the foot with our hands and tuck the left toes under into a runner's stretch. Here you may want to move ribs and belly to the side so that your knee is more firmly underneath the armpits. You can use fists or blocks for your hands if that's more comfortable. Dropping your knee and the top of the foot to the floor. Walking our hands up onto the right knee. Hip flexor stretch just like before. Shift everything back. Hip over knee. This right foot comes to meet the left. And we sit on the heels. Ready to go on the other side. So hips over the knees. Left foot steps forward. Pelvis drops forward. Tuck the toes under. Float the knee and shift. Little balance here. Breathe. My right foot steps back. Full sole of the foot on the floor. Slightly turned out. Virabhadrasana, warrior one. Smooth even breaths in and out through the nose. Inhale, open the chest a little bit. Exhale, warrior two. Looking out over your left fingers. Strong through the left thigh. Inhale here, exhale, left elbow onto the left thigh, reaching up and over with the right arm. Side angle pose. Length from the outside of the right hip all the way up the side body. You're rotating everything towards the front. Tuck the right toes under, and we frame the left foot with our hands. Again, you can just shift things out of the way if they're in the way, making space for the knee into the armpit. If you feel your arms are a little short, fists or blocks are welcome. Knee and shin, top of the foot come to the mat. Walking our hands up onto the left thigh and let the pelvis fall forward, lengthening the hip flexor on the right side. Shifting everything back so the hip is over the knee and bring the left foot to meet the right and we sit on our heels. Nice work. Taking a couple of breaths here just to regulate, make sure that your breath is still smooth, even, relatively effortless. And taking the knees wide apart. So your hips may stay in contact with your heels, but they might not. Everyone's anatomy is different here. We're coming into Balasana transpose. We're going to keep our belly close to our thighs and then stretch the arms forward and drop the forehead here. If you are a person who has high hips for whatever reason and you feel like you're falling onto your forehead, I recommend a cushion under the forehead or stacking your hands and resting your forehead there. All variations are welcome when you try to improve. Pressing into the palms, keeping your hips where they are. We're going to walk our hands over to the right side and then release ourselves back down again. You want to feel some opening in the rib cage on the left side of the body. Walk our hands over to the left side. And stretching the right side of the body. Walking back to the center. So you're going to press your hips a little bit closer to the heels than they were before. You may shift your pelvis a little from side to side, releasing your lower back. And then come one more time into center child's pose. We take 10 deep breaths here, releasing the back of the neck, finding some gentle traction in the spine. And walk those belly. So sit on the heels once more. We can come back together. And then coming to sit on our butt. Taking a kind of V-shaped position. So it doesn't have to be a wide straddle. It's really up to you what feels good today. And if you are a person who has a tendency to flatten the lower back when your legs are straight in front of you, I highly recommend elevating the hips a little bit in any kind of forward bend, seated forward bend. It gives you a little bit more space. Imagine the pelvis. It's like a bowl of cereal, right? So what we want to do is spill it forward. There's milk and cereal everywhere. Drop the pelvis forward, open chest. If you need to bend your knees to do that, that's fine. You can take your hands behind your thighs, and that might be perfect. If you are quite mobile in the hips and hamstrings, taking the hands to the front is fine. Keep those shoulders back, chest open. The more we go forward, no matter how mobile we are, in this position, we want to keep the shoulders back and not think about dropping the head. So looking forward, chest is forward. If you get stuck in that position, that means that you don't really have the mobility, right? You're just kind of using the spine to compensate. And to be clear, there is a space for that stretch as well, but that is not the one we're doing right now. Smoothing the breaths in and out through the nose. Two more breaths here. If you feel your body relaxing and you can go a little bit deeper, that's fine, but no pressure if it goes down. And then walking ourselves back up. We're going to take the right elbow to the inside of the right knee, which creates a twist through the spine. And then reaching the left arm up and over, find the side stretch. Bringing the ear with the arm, palm facing the floor. Let's rotate towards the right thigh, framing the leg with the fingertips and twisting the spine in the other direction. Just spiral through the spine so that the shoulders are relatively level. And again, how much you fold is up to your mobility. You can stay back or even grab the foot, but we do want to keep the shoulders up and the chest forward, head up. Notice what's going on in the opposite hip. You may even feel some stretch there from the twisting away action. Walking through the center. Take a little hamstring stretch. Bring yourself back up. Walking your hands up. Shoulders pull back and down. Left elbow on the inside of the left thigh. Twist the spine so the chest is nice and open. Reaching the right arm up and over. Side stretch. Feel the length in these intercostal muscles in between the ribs. Framing the ear with the arm, palms facing the floor. You're rotating towards the left leg. Frame the knee with your fingertips and twist through the spine so that the chest is pretty level, facing the toes. Same thing. One leg is different than the other, so move into the forward bend as if this is a brand new exercise. Keeping the shoulders pulled back and the chest open, finding your version of the stretch. And one more time, you come through the center. And this time, you can drop your head and shoulders forward. Feel the length in the back of the neck and the upper spine. Using your hands for support. You don't need to just collapse into gravity here. Many of us have tight hamstrings. It's going to lose into force. And we roll up through the spine. That is the last thing to arrive. Coming into a cross-legged position. Again, sitting on the cushion or block if that feels good. It gives you a lot of space for your breath to move. We're coming into Sukhasana. So whichever leg you want. One foot close to your body, lined up with the pubic bone, and the other foot is stacked heel to heel or directly on top, whichever variation you like. Grounded through the sitting bones, lengthening to the crown of the head, shoulders sliding down and back. We did so much side bending today to open up the side rib cage. So we're going to do some breathing into the ribs. So we can take our hands like we're grabbing a barrel or something, and then take them back around to our rib cage. Thumb on the back bottom rib and index finger on the front bottom rib. Framing that space. Not squeezing, but a gentle pressure so that you can feel the feedback. And we want to breathe first naturally and just notice what's going on without trying to change it. So observing your natural breath a little bit. You may feel your ribcage move, or you may not feel much movement. That's fine, just noticing what's going on. Begin to allow your breath to lengthen. Not applying much force, but just as we notice your natural breath, see if we can lengthen it into the belly a little bit more. So if we don't naturally tend to use our diaphragm, it can be a little tricky. Try expanding the navel away from the spine, letting your belly be soft, and the navel moving back towards your spine. And using not much effort, keeping the face relaxed. See if you can continue expanding the breath slightly. Until you start to feel that the belly becomes completely full with each inhalation, and then it can overflow into the ribcage. And then emptying air from the ribs, it close like an umbrella towards the spine, and navel back towards the spine, emptying the lungs completely. Filling the belly with air, and then expanding the ribcage into your hands. Exhaling from the ribs and the belly. Noticing the thumb back there on the back ribs. See if you can breathe as much into the back and sides of the ribcage as you do to the front. Just a few more breaths like this. Again, the forehead is relaxed, jaw is relaxed. Collarbones and shoulders are relaxed. Breathing three-dimensionally into the sides and backs of the ribs. Releasing the hands. Index fingers come to touch the thumbs. Resting the hands on the backs of the knees. Smile neutral. Releasing all effort and allowing your body to breathe for you. Once again, observing the natural breath. Noticing any differences that you might feel in the way that the breath moves spontaneously in your body. How that affects the sensations in the ribs and the shoulder blades. Pretty comfortable. We mentally scan through our physical body once more, noticing the sensations that are present in the lower limbs, ankles, knees, hips. Changes you might feel after moving your body today. Just taking note without judgment. Sensations in the pelvis and lower back, in the abdomen and the spine, chest and shoulders, the arms and hands, and the neck, skull, and the muscles of your face. We palm of the hands together in front of the heart, Anjali Mudra, thumb lightly touching the sternum. Loka Samasa, Supino Bhavanti, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all beings everywhere be happy, healthy, and free. Peace, peace, peace. And as we bow forward, thumbs lightly touch the eyebrow center, Hari Om Tat Sat. And thank you so much for practicing with me this morning.